Yo, welcome to another episode. So, in today's episode, we are going to be solving these particular questions. Okay, so we have question one, which is write a C++ program that calculate the average grade for a student in five different subjects. Okay, now for the question one, this is the hint to the question. The hint is here. Okay, so the hint is saying that user input, you will use a loop to get the grade for what each subject. So that means you prepare for your for loop. You are going to use for loop for that, and then array, you will use an array to store the individual group. So that means we are going to use an array to store the individual. And then if you don't know arrays, you can watch my videos on array. Okay, then the hint is also calculating. You will iterate through the array to what calculate the sum of all grade. Okay, so we are going to iterate through the array and calculate what all the four what all the sum of all the grade. Okay, so average calculation, you will divide the sum of the grade by the total number of subjects, which is 5, to find the average, and then you will display the student what grade. Okay, so let's start the process. So we are going to use C++. So they say we are going to use what? We are going to use an array. So they say we will store the details inside an array. So we'll first declare our array. Okay, we'll give it, the array will take an integer. So we'll say integer. Uh, so call it what? Student. You can call it anything. So I'm going to call it student underscore what? Score. Since it's an array, I'll bring my square bracket. That's what I'm saying. If you don't understand anything on the array, you can watch our videos to get the concept of what array. So we have student and then student array. So we are going to set our for loop what we are going to set our for loop so that whatever the user input, we are going to store it inside what our array. Okay, so we will say for, then in array we start counting from zero. So the first value in our array will be what? Zero. So what we'll do is that we'll start the loop with what? Integer with a variable name of what? I. Okay, with a variable name of I, which will be initialized to what? Zero, because our array starts counting from what? Zero. So, and then we want to stop our array. You see, they said we should accept what? Five scores. So we want to stop our array at what? Less than five. We are doing it less than five because I know you'll be thinking that we should say it's equal to five. When we do that, we're going to get something that is what? Invalid. Why? Because our array start counting from zero, but we humans we start counting from one. So when you start counting from zero, by the time you will reach five, you're already in five. Okay, that's the problem. So there is something we need to do with our array. We need to tell our array the size of the array. Okay, the size of our array is going to be what? 6. Okay, the size of our array is going to be 6, and then I told you why, because array we start counting from what? 0. So if you don't understand arrays, you watch my videos on one. So we give it the size of the array, which will be 6, and then we do it a for loop, and then in each iteration we are going to increase what? I by 1. So we will say in each iteration we'll give I plus plus. So inside of for loop you are going to do something, which is what? You will ask the user for something. So enter the what? The score. So enter the score for student what? Enter the for what? Subject. Okay, let's say subject. Because they said subject, no, we can't change. So for subject, then we'll bring our I variable here. So bring our what? We'll bring our what? we'll bring our I variable. So now in each iteration we are going to store whatever the user input inside our array. So do like the C in, and then we name our array as students. So I'm going to say what student underscore what student underscore score. Okay, now we have to bring our array here. So then we'll bring our array, then we'll put the value of what the I. Okay, because this I, anytime the loop runs, the value of the I changes. Okay, anytime the loop runs, the value of our I changes. So we are going to do this. So we see in that now I want to see out what. Let me come. So they say we should calculate what the average. The average. So in order to calculate the average, we need to find the total. So the total will come here and declare a variable. We'll declare a variable called int, and then we'll give it a name of what total. Initially, we are going to set the total to 0. Okay, so initially the total is 0, and then in each iteration, okay, in each iteration we are going to what change the value of total. So the total will be what, the total will be equal to what, plus plus or what, equal to, because in each iteration in the loop we want to change the value of the total, which will be equal to what, the student, the student what, underscore what, score, and then we'll give it what, the I. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So right now to find the total, we can come here and display what, the grade of the student. So we'll start by saying what, C out. So the average grade is what, we'll come and say the average grade is, so the average grade, then we'll bring what, the total divided by 5. Okay, so we'll bring something like, okay, the total, remember the total variable, which is what, we are dividing it by 5, divided by 5. So that's what will happen. Yeah, that's all you need to know under this program. So let's run the program and see if it will work for us. Yeah, okay, we have an error here. We didn't bring our semicolon, so let's fix that. So but there is a problem. You see, they say enter the score for subject 0. So let's fix that before. You see here we are bringing the value of our I, but then let's just add 1 to it so that we won't start from 0 again. Like I told you, we started from our loop. We start counting our loop from 0. That's why we are seeing the 0. So when we add 1, we will not face this issue. So enter the score for subject 1. I'm going to go for 40. So enter the score for subject 2. I'll go for 30. Enter the score for subject 3. I'm going to go for 39. Enter the score for subject 4. I'm going to go for what? Enter the score for subject 5. I'll go for 40. And then the average, I'll get the average to what? 35. The average is 2. I divided everything by 5. So that's the first question. So the second one is talking about what? This is the second question. Okay, the second question is saying that we should what, write a C++ program that asks the user for their name and age, then calculate the year the user was born, and display a greeting message that include their name and what, birth year. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cancel this code. I'm going to cancel this code. Okay, so first of all, I will accept input from the user, which is the name and the what, the age. So I'll start by saying int, then age is equal to what. So since we are accepting input, let's leave it this way, and then we'll go for a string, which is the username. So which is name. Now we are going to see out something. See out something. Uh, please enter your name. Okay, and then we are going to store it inside what the name variable. So then we'll go forward. See out. Please enter your age. Okay, and then we are going to take the user input. So see in what age. Okay, now let's do something. Let's do some logic here. You see, they say we are calculating the word, the year the user was born using the age only. And then to do that, we'll use the current year. So if we are in 2024 and the person's age is what, 19, we just minus 2024 from 19. We'll get the current, we'll get the day the user was born. So we'll say something like int birth underscore what? Birth underscore here is equal to what? 2024 2024 minus what? Minus user in minus the age the user what returns for us. Okay, so now the question goes to say that we should display the username and the age and then a welcome message. Like it should be in a what? It should everything should be in one line. So we go for what? See out, and then we'll say we'll first go for what? Hello, and then we'll bring the person's name here. So hello name, and then so hello name, and then we'll say what again? Okay, so your your birth. So I'm going to say your what? Your birth your birth year is. So your birth year is, then we'll bring in what the birth year variable. Okay, so the birth underscore what year. So that's all you need to do. So yeah, I think that's all. So let's run the program and see. We have an error. Did you mean for where did they do an error? Do we have an error here? Okay, let me come again. I don't check the error. Yo. Okay, this is supposed to be inside a string, sorry. This is supposed to be inside a string since oh god. So I put this inside a string. Yeah. So let's check to see if our program is running. What's wrong? I can't even see the error. So, oh, sorry. We need to bring two double signs. So, I think that's the error we are facing. Yeah, sorry for it. So, we have enter your name, then I'll enter some text. Okay. So, enter your age. I'll enter 20. So, guess the day, the time I was born. It will be what? Maybe 2004. Okay. So, hello, some text. Birth year is what? You see, they are saying my birth year is what? 2024, which is actually wrong. So let's check something here. Let's give some gap in between the name and then. So the gap in between the name. So let's do something like int birth year is equal to what? Let's minus age from it. I don't know. Uh, so minus age. let's run the program again and see something. So name, I'll go for what? Some tech. And then the age will be what? 20. Hello, some tech. Your birth year is what? 2024. So there is actually a program with this code. So we have 2020 what? We have the birth year is 20. So let's do something. We didn't accept what? The birth year. That's the error. We didn't accept the birth year input, but we are already doing some operation with what the birth year variable, including the age. We've not accepted the age input, but we are doing some operation with it. That's where the error is. So we'll cut it here. And then when we accept the user input for the age, then we'll now come and declare the birth year variable. Yeah, that's the error. I know you'll be wondering. So let's give some space here. And then, yeah. So let's go. So we are going for what? Some tech. And then we've got age of what? 20. I'm expecting 2004 this time around. So we have hello some tech. Your birth year is what? Your birth year is what? 2004. Yeah, and then you can try with this. So thanks for watching. Okay.